Welcome to Draconian, your podcast for news and updates in Hong Kong and Taiwan. I'm your host, William. Hi, welcome to the 8th episode of the Draconian podcast. This is your host, William. This week, we are separating the collection of topics from Hong Kong and Taiwan. So there will be one part of this episode dedicated for Hong Kong and the other part for Taiwan. This can enable us to increase the length of each part or section and to bring you more information per week. So, the plan itself is to release news about Hong Kong on Mondays and Taiwan on Tuesdays. So as of Tuesday, you can still hear the full episode, but you can hear the episode about Hong Kong a bit earlier. And so we can also facilitate longer episodes and respond to requests and current events much faster. So now, welcome to part 1 of the 8th episode of the Draconian podcast. And in this part 1, we will just talk about Hong Kong, as there are quite some news and quite some events happening in Hong Kong that requires our attention or requires international interest, I would say. So the first topic, it is about the diplomatic roles and pressure against the Hong Kong government. As the United Kingdom released its first half-year report on Hong Kong for the 2023, it is the first time where Jimmy Lai was specifically mentioned. In previous times, Jimmy Lai was only mentioned as a person who got arrested under the national security law. But this time, the United Kingdom confirmed that its request on visiting Jimmy Lai was rejected by officials in Hong Kong. Furthermore, the United Kingdom also mentioned different changes, which include the injunction to intentionally ban the song "Glory to Hong Kong" from the general public for most use cases. It also mentioned that while economically China somewhat like stayed under whatever promise in the Sino-British Joint Declaration, or the British-Sino Joint Declaration, it stated that there are quite serious violations and in non-compliance of the Joint Declaration politically. While Hong Kong and China, they both responded in its long-standing that the matter in Hong Kong is an internal matter, while other countries should not interfere in it. While in Hong Kong, they also additionally stated that there are national security laws all over the world, and the national security law in Hong Kong is just a normal national security law. In my own opinion, or in the host's own opinion, this is surely not anything normal. So it's anything but normal, considering the presence of the present-day Hong Kong as an international is just an international treaty city that was built under different treaties, from the Treaty of Nanjing, Treaty of Beijing, to the extension of lease of the new territory, to the 1984 the British-Sino Joint Declaration. So it's not because of all of these declarations and treaties, Hong Kong would not exist in the first place. It is also, in my own opinion, the first time that Jimmy Lai was mentioned in his prison visits. While previously, or in previous years, only mentioning Jimmy Lai was being arrested as a British national, it is the first time that the United Kingdom officially confirmed that they are requesting prison visits, and the visit is turned down. So that's the first part about this topic, and the second part of this topic is about a new policy by the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Hong Kong. So, in the latest news, the Chinese MFA in Hong Kong has requested identities of every local citizen who work for any foreign consulates. This is the first time in history, in Hong Kong history, and also in most cases, in diplomatic services. However, as China considers this a normal request, it can mean increased risk for Hong Kong citizens working for foreign governments in an official stance, even for commercial sections, not for political ones or not for other ones, including cultural sections. Furthermore, this request for identities covers all the consular personnel. That includes from staff working at commercial and cultural sections to security such as guards. With the presence of a far-reaching national security law, this, in our own opinion, may mean increased grip for China or Hong Kong, and also increased risk for people who are working for governments just commercially, but not politically or not for any subversion. This also comes to the nature of the national security law. If the national security law itself is not that far-reaching, issues and concerns won't be raised by even with a normal request from the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So next, we will have JPEX in Hong Kong, fraud, Web 3.0, and internet censorship. So JPEX, known as the JP Exchange Crypto Trading Platform, was denounced by the Securities and Futures Commission in Hong Kong as a fraudulent trading platform. The platform responded by denouncing the SFC's action. At the same time, it also increased the cost for withdrawals from a mere 0.3% of USDT to now over 99.9% of the amount of the transaction, which effectively blocks any meaningful withdrawals from the platform. And if you intend to withdraw, that means that you will be charged a very high fee. At the same time, after the denunciation, the Hong Kong police force also arrested a few key opinion leaders, KOLs, who actively promoted the site. This included Joseph Lam Chok, who operates a Lam Chok over-the-counter crypto exchange, opened 10 days before this whole collapse, and Chen Ho Yi, better known as Chen Yi in YouTube, which operates the Chen Tai Yi over-the-counter crypto exchange. Furthermore, the Hong Kong police force also instructed local internet operators to ban the site as a whole, as they accused the site as a fraudulent site. So now, the accused fraudulent trading platform, JPEX, in fact, had no connection with the Japanese stock exchange, also known as JPEX. And in fact, the JPEX has announced it, or has issued a statement a few years ago stating that JPEX was unrelated, unaffiliated, and just have nothing to do with the Japanese stock exchange. Furthermore, this trading platform also now tried to stabilize the situation by offering a proposal to restructure the whole trading platform. In fact, what happened from both the vote and the proposal itself can be considered as another type of fraud. So now let's see what's the proposal itself first. So the proposal stated that the normal operation will recommence in May next year, which is conveniently 1 month after the deadline by the SFC to request all these whole cryptocurrency exchange, if they want to operate in Hong Kong, to register the license, and for them to win up if they have no intention to extend their operation beyond the deadline. The second thing is about how the proposal itself. So it also offered like new deposits, a guaranteed 100% returns in 2 years in terms in USDT. That is just a huge red flag for everyone, as it's something that can be considered as too good to be true. But if you trust this whole platform, it is riskless. That is just impossible at all. At the same time, for a fault itself, it is also fraudulent, in my own opinion, or in most people's case. So you can accept or reject the proposal of this whole thing, of this whole proposal of like restructuring. However, if you click the button rejecting the proposal, you will just be given another conversation bubble to ask you to reconsider the whole idea of rejecting the whole proposal. And even if you click, I still reject, you'll get a second same bubble. While this time, some of them reported that there are just no more reject button, but just one accept button. So now here's my own personal take on this matter. In my own opinion, I think that these are things that can be considered as too good to be true, as basically 100% guaranteed returns is just something that is fraudulent at best. Furthermore, it's in its previous advertisements, it also advertised investing in crypto as risk-free, which is not the case at all. Furthermore, crypto itself is a novel idea, but the implementation of the cryptocurrency itself is not. The current implementation enables fraudsters and criminals to utilize crypto as a way of like using the money and as a way of so-called whitewashing monies that were obtained criminally. However, previous failures of cryptocurrency exchange, particularly on FTX, has highlighted the importance of regulation. However, the idea of regulation itself, or regulating cryptocurrency itself, is a huge blow to the idea of cryptocurrency itself as an anonymous digital currency, or the digital store, a digital asset or store of value, which is just ridiculous at best. So this is about the fraud in JPEX, and also about my own personal take on internet censorship. So it is the first time that the Hong Kong police force censors websites based on it as a fraudulent website. However, the action was not taken in conjunction with other people, so that takes a huge red flag on the intention of censoring this whole site. Furthermore, as of recording, the site itself was unblocked in Hong Kong, which raises further questions on why there was a censorship itself. There was the issue of censorship itself. So there are just tons of different issues, just literally mixed into one single, and now we are seeing this whole grand scheme of things happening, unfolding in just 1 week and a bit more, I would say. But this was not selected in last week's news, as the development of the news itself was not full, and basically the arrest came, I think, last week. But the only thing that didn't happen last week was the SFC's announcement on or denunciation of the JPEX exchange crypto trading platform. So next is about the Hong Kong Night Vibes campaign. So last week, we have discussed the Hong Kong Night Vibes campaign, about the launch of the Night Vibes campaign, about the idea of using silver lions to do the lion dance, which resembles a white lion for funerals and stuff like that. And this week, things are getting a bit interesting. Normally, most Hong Kong Night Vibes campaign labeled events are just labeling or relabeling or upgrading old events. However, this week, the attention of local media all came to a new event that was like using this Hong Kong Night Vibes campaign, which this Night Vibes campaign, in this Night Vibes campaign, it features a time-limited night market by the harbourfront, or by the Victoria Harbour harbourfront, which was organized by K11, or the New World Development Company, outside of by the seaside shopping mall called K11 Museum. It is not a traditional night market, as it is specifically stated that it is built, or the night market was hosted as a time-limited event. I mean, you're having a new event, you're having a time-limited event, you're having a time-limited night market. It seems normal. But all the news was not about this hosting of this event and how many people are there, but it is about overpriced Siu Mai or Shumais in stores that were in the night market. So traditionally, this local street food delicates cost like $1 to $2 per piece, while you're having like in a serving of 10 or 15, you normally would be charged like $10 to $20, or in some rare cases, or in some very expensive case, you're having like $30 for 10 piece of shumais. The ones that got to the headlines, or grabbed everyone's 15-minute of attention, or got its own 15-minute of fame, was the one that costed like $5 per piece. And if you are choosing like for the serving to have two flavors at the same time, it's priced at $6.25 per piece, which translates to $25 per serving. After this news broke out, people just flocked to the harbourfront to see this overpriced shumais. I mean, it's quite interesting for people just to see the shumais or siu mai, this overpriced siu mai or shumais. It's such overpriced. I mean, it's like $1 to $2. You're getting like $5 to $6. The store itself got quite a lot of traffic, and a lot of people wanting to buy the siu mai, and even there are talks, or some of them mentioned, or some of them said that the store owner wanted to increase the price of those jumbo shumais, I would say, or shumais, they say. So bit of fact before my own personal opinion. So in fact, the shumais are much bigger in size. Normally, these shumais are bite-sized, so you can imagine how big are those, like sold in Hong Kong street food. However, the siu mai or the shumais that are sold in the night market was like over 3 times the size, or 3 times the volume of a normal shumais, and they taste normal. Furthermore, the store that sold those siu mai or shumais is basically a spice store, and in the intention of selling siu mai or shumais are to serve their own specifically crafted spices, or in some cases, their own sauce. However, the result was that everyone was just flocking to see their shumais, but not their real product offering. So now, it's my own personal opinion, or my own personal take on this whole matter. I mean, the size of this is ridiculous, which results in the ridiculous size or the ridiculous charge of each piece of shumais. However, night economy should not be done this way, or should not have been done this way. If you are having like weekly night markets, I think it's fine. But these are just time-limited night markets, which do not repeat, which is weird. Furthermore, the idea of the night market to revive Hong Kong's night economy is just ridiculous at best and impossible as reality, as it did not tackle the main culprit of bad night economy across the world as a whole, and even worse recovery of the night economy in Hong Kong. So the main reason of the bad night economy across the world was the pandemic-induced question for people questioning the existence of a night economy at all. As people evolve, or as people get out from pandemics, they found that they can just do all their night economy stuff not at night. So basically, people are just trying to live a better lifestyle. In Hong Kong, this is even worse, as the reasons for the lackluster night economies come in 3 different reasons. One is the lackluster global night economy recovery, which I discussed like my own opinion take, or I've given a reason. With the other 2, which just unrelated or unsolvable. The first reason was about the national security law. This national security law just pushed those who were willing to spend out of Hong Kong to migrate to UK, migrate to other countries for better living. However, this whole Night Vibes campaign did not solve or did not try to address this problem, as they consider national security over everything else. Yes, everything else. Furthermore, the second reason is about the loss of high-paying jobs. Prior to the opening of Hong Kong to the mainland China, most high-paying jobs in Hong Kong, which includes investment bankings and other like different job opportunities, are held solely by people from Hong Kong who are willing to spend at the same time. However, after 2007, and basically in the past 15 years, people coming from the PRC they just gobbled up the places, they just gobble up all the opportunities of the high-paying jobs, and basically those people in Hong Kong, they do not have the intention, and they do not have the money to spend for a night economy, or spend for things other than the necessities, or spend late at night. So these are the main reasons, or these are my own personal take on this whole Night Vibes campaign. It is a campaign. It is a good campaign. Not a good campaign to revive the Hong Kong night economy, but a good campaign to spend money on. And the government itself, although stating a lot on KPIs, they didn't set a KPI on the Night Vibes campaign, so it's a bit weird. So we hope you find the first part of this episode informative. If you do, please subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss a single episode. If you have any feedback, please let us know in the comments or drop us an email at william@dragonianpod.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with more news from Taiwan. And stay safe and stay tuned to the next podcast or the part 2 of episode 8. Thank you.